you have gone.
bless you.
So, I'm gonna start by asking Councilman Rustin to lead us in the invocation.
Sure, let us pray. Dear God, we thank you as always, just the opportunity to join as a group tonight, Lord. We thank you for the year that we've had in the city, and Lord, we thank you for the seasons of change, God, and thank you so much for that. Lord, we thank you just for what's happening in the city right now and the people that support it on a day-to-day basis and protect it and just make it go. God, I ask you, Lord, just be with the meeting tonight. Let the things be discussed for the people that are in the city and the people that even work for the city. God, I ask you, Lord, just let those discussions be well. And Lord, just be with the meeting tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
You guys will stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys take a look at the agenda. There is a lot on the agenda, although it should go pretty quick. It's just a bunch of resolutions that are pretty much routine business. And while you're looking at that, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Lilly.
Here.
Myself.
Here.
Weston.
Here.
King.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Mayor
Here. Okay, I'll give you a few more minutes to take a look at it. Like I said, most of these resolutions are pretty standard business for us, but there's a lot of them. Okay, and as usual, the first item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Council members should have received a copy of the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Okay, if none, let the record show that the minutes are accepted as written. Okay, and the first thing that we'll get started on with is the department head reports, and Chief Bowers is up first.
So everything's looking good for the end of fiscal year 2023. Everything's basically the same. Still one on the job injury with Mike Peppers. Still have one officer position open. Vehicles in good working order, equipment's in good working order, and our training is complete for 2023. This year, the PD logged 990 hours of training for our officers, which is where we want to be. If we could hit the 1,000-hour mark, that would be a good accomplishment for us. So we're going to try that next year. The only other things we have is been getting several dog complaints. I got one this weekend. I've gotten several over the past few weeks. There's some things on 47 South that people have dogs that are allowed in the wrong yard. We just kind of want to remind everybody that even though the city does not have a leash law, we fall up under the state of Alabama leash law, which means that you have to keep your dog under your control at all times. If you have a fence and the dog gets out of your fence and causes damage or hurts another dog or hurts another person, you're liable. And so we just want to remind everybody, please keep your dogs up. Another thing is coming up September the 27th, which is next Wednesday, is Public Safety Award Day. This year's recipient is our SO officer, Stephen Cranston. He's our Officer of the Year for 2023. He's really stepped up to his role as an SRO, and we're really proud of him. So we're going to recognize him on that day. That's it.
Questions for the chief? All right, thanks, sir. Admin.
Everything is going well in admin. Everything's actually staying the same right now because we're working on fiscal year end 23, and we'll get that closed out by the end of October and moving into fiscal year 24. At the bottom of the screen is the first section of numbers is the general fund. We are still looking good, and then the second set of numbers is all the other funds. Looking good so far.
Questions? Okay. Court.
Everything's pretty much the same. Everything's all good. Lisa's in training tomorrow. Mike has training towards the end of the year. Driving school is still exceeding expectations, and everything's good.
Is that once a month, or how often is the driving school?
Once a month.
How many people are usually in there?
12, you average between 10 and 12, because we only do 12 at a time.
Oh, okay.
Is that driving school, is that just for people to get tickets inside the city?
We
Or-
have it set up to where if another court didn't have an option for in-person driving, they
Right.
can pay a fee and come to us and do the driving as well,
Okay.
driving school.
Seems like that was a pretty good idea to bring that in then.
Yeah, Investigator Hall does the driving school classes, he does a really good job with it. I want to come sit in one night, you're more than welcome,
It's just one night?
one night a month, yes, sir.
How long does it last? Couple hours?
I think it's about a 4-hour class.
Oh, wow.
What time does it start? Actually, 6.
Okay.
Okay, any questions for Terry? All righty, moving right on here. Public Works, Alan?
Everything's going good, in Public Works and everything, we're finishing up this year's budget with a few extra things that we haven't got done yet, trying to get them done before the end of the year. But other than that, everything's running good. I guess highlight opportunity, they started construction on the new shop, and probably within 2 weeks or less, they'll be through with the first phase of it, putting the new top and the side on it. And we'll get started on the electrical and the grade work outside. So they're steady working on it. Other than that, everything is running fine.
I'll be glad when y'all get out of this building over here.
So Alan?
When they get the roof and the shell on, can y'all move stuff in there, or you gotta wait for the electrical really?
We'll have to get some electrical in there and everything. It'll be some things we can start moving in there a little bit at a time, and we're gonna try to wait till we get the electrical, cause it's pretty dark up there when
It's very
it's
dark.
closed in.
Is that the next phase after
The
the?
electrical and the grade work and everything.
How long will the electrical take? When's it slated to be done, you think?
As soon as I get through that, see when he can get to, probably a week, probably 2 weeks, maybe
Oh, wow.
3 at the most, depending on how busy he is to get.
It's good.
So before, it was very dark up there when we were assessing what needed to be done. And so we found some surprises, and we've had to do a few things to fix those surprises, because once the roof and the sides and you can see this stuff, it's like, oh, we didn't see that. So fortunately, nothing really substantial, but it's a good thing we found them, and I feel good about what they're doing, and I think it's gonna be great. It's really gonna be great. Okay, any other questions for Alan? Okay. All right, well, this under board reports, before we get into this, were there any board meetings?
We had, planning board meeting last Thursday.
Okay,
We had 2, we had 3 public hearings. One of those came to a vote and it was denied, but we had 2 other, public hearings that were, approved, so those will come to council on October the 17th? Is that right? The second council meeting? Yeah. One of those is for, West Side Lane, which is next to Springs Crossing. Zach Kellis wants to annex that in and rezone it, so that would be done. We would do the annexation first. If it passed, then we would do the rezoning. The other one is, I cannot remember what the other one was for now. I don't remember.
If, West Side Lane, will that bring in the paint store too, or just the right side of the road?
No, it's the paint store, would still not be, it's still staying in the county. It would be everything else.
that would be the only thing.
That would be the only thing.
How far does that go back? Just to the end of their, West Side Lane? Or is there, okay,
I think just back to the end of West Side.
okay.
I understand.
How far does?
Did he buy both sides though? Or did he just buy that one side?
It's both sides.
But the paint store won't be in it?
Yes.
Because the paint store was a different property owner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
And
kind of weird the way it's
Yeah,
set
that's what I
out
was,
anyway.
that's what I was trying to figure out.
the new, I guess, C-store that's going in right there, right in front, is that in the city now?
Mhm.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that was rezoned
That was
6
rezoned,
months or so.
Yeah.
What is that gonna be? Just,
Gas
a
station.
gas station.
it is gonna be a gas station?
What about the church?
The church
The
has
church
always
has
been
been
in
in the
city
city.
limits.
Harvest Church?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is it, it hasn't sold yet? Is it,
Yes, it's sold.
Did it?
They
Did it?
did, I think, when he bought it to start with, now I think Zach and him done some horse trading or something.
The Baptist Association.
The
It's
Baptist Association.
That's what I had heard had bought the church, but
Okay.
did the Wayne and Amy Drummond, is that the other one that was,
that was the one that was denied.
that's the one that's denied?
Um,
670,
it was to rezone for a mobile home on 47, where, Mooney Road comes out, and that was denied. Do you have the agenda? What was the other thing that was on?
there's a public hearing on 670
Oh, I
LLC.
remember the other thing now. It was Waxahachie Farms,
Waxahachie's
which
over here.
was, at the back of Springs Crossing. It was R3 and they wanted to rezone to A1 because it's a larger lot. So they wanted the more, what they could do in A1, which is basically, it's just larger lots. If you wanted animals or whatever, you could have that out there.
But you can build on it.
Yes,
It's just one lot.
yes, it's just one lot.
Does it butt up against Springs Crossing?
It does.
Would the access come from there, Springs Crossing?
I'm not really sure where it's gonna come from, cause it's like way back in the back,
It goes
and
down
like
across
close to
the
a railroad.
Tracks and
Yeah.
there behind it, behind it, down in the woods, it runs back in all the way, it cuts got a easement, it comes out on 25 over here, I think, too.
How large is the lot?
Like
Seem like it,
55 acres.
yeah, there's 100 something acres,
Okay.
Randy owned it, and sold it.
Okay.
That was the other one. Thank you.
Waxahachie.
Okay, any questions for the planning commission? Were there any other boards before we go into
The
this?
beautification board met, and we have ordered the banners, the Shelby County banners to go down the streets on the, we got approval from the power company, thanks to the mayor, to put those up on, around the high school, so. That's good. Oh, and thanks to the guys for hanging up our garland. We appreciate that,
That looks nice, the fall
thank you,
ribbon and stuff on that
Mhm.
garland looks nice.
thank you.
People are paying attention to those yellow ribbons because a lot of people didn't know what they mean.
Yeah.
Well,
You
the
know what they
gold-
mean?
Gold.
I didn't
Yeah,
know what
cancer
I had to
awareness.
ask.
Yeah,
It's
she
child-
asked
childhood
me.
cancer awareness.
Yeah.
Yep, so good.
Okay. All right, so the other
Thanks,
issue up here, were there any other boards before I move on to that? Is, the Housing Authority has, one of their board members is a resident out here in the development. Kim Hankins, her term is up, she would like to be reappointed, the Housing Authority would like for her to be reappointed. And so if there's not any objection, I will nominate Kim Hankins to be reappointed to her term to the Housing Authority, which will run from October of 23 to October of 28.
I'll second.
Okay, could I get a voice vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, unanimous approval. All right, before I move on, any more boards? Okay. All right, so this is authorizing me to sign the memorandum of agreement that we sign every year with M4A, the Middle Alabama Area on Aging for the Senior Center. And I think this is just the one that generically says, we'll do this, this, and this, and as a result of that, they give us some sort of stipend, I think, for, to help us with our salaries. So Are there any questions or discussion about the M4A MOA?
So I guess they won the bid, is that right? Or is this just, is this
They-
bid?
No, it's
No.
not a
Oh,
bid. This
okay.
is just the agreement with the middle, with M4A.
Oh, okay.
And they just granted a new bid to the nutrition.
Okay.
So,
Which is much better, I hear.
I think so. They'll say too much.
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution 092305. It's authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement, with M4A, for a nutrition agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's passed by unanimous consent. No expenditure. Is that you or me?
That's me.
That would be great.
All of us.
Okay. All right, this is authorization for me to sign a contract with CDG Engineering. CDG is the firm that we engaged to do the storm drainage study. They've done that now. They've given us an estimate on the cost to do some storm drainage, put in a new culvert on Depot Street and fix some of the storm drainage there, as well as to address some storm drainage in front of Piggly Wiggly. This is just for the first part of it. They will do the engineering, which is put out all the specifications and the criteria for us to end up putting the work out for bid that's going to be done on this thing. So the purpose of this is the contract just for that engineering and specification work, as well as they're going to do the environmental studies and all the stuff that they have to do with ADEM that's associated with that. So any questions or discussion on this?
And that ARPA money is restricted funds, right? It's got to be specific to.
Well, there's
Certain.
certain things that can be spent on.
Right.
We decided we would
Yep.
spend it on storm drainage. So, yeah, and we have to obligate, we have $871,000 left to obligate. And this project's gonna basically spend it all. But before we can spend any of it, we gotta have all that engineering work and specification done, and as well as, deal with all the environmental stuff with ADEM, and they take care of all that. They will also basically do the project management, inspect the work, throughout the process.
So I guess they represent us with ADM.
Exactly, just like Dave Bechtel does on our sewer, and
Kevin Kessler.
Kevin Kessler has done in the past. Those guys have always worked as our program managers for that sort of stuff. And for that matter, Chris Pappas does it on a lot of our highway work as well. So these are the storm drainage guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept resolution 092306. It's authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with CDG for engineering drainage services for phase 1.
Second.
This one does involve the expenditure of funds, so would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell,
Yes.
Weston,
Yes.
King, Phillips,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes. Okay, and so it's, resolution is passed unanimously. Okay, so this is authorizing me to sign a lease agreement with Ingram Equipment Company. This is a capital lease, so this is essentially just like going out and financing a truck. This is for the garbage truck. We budgeted for this. We budgeted for it for a lease after we had some discussion about that. I looked at, they gave us options for a 3-year and a 4-year lease, and as far as annual cash flow, the 4-year lease is a better deal for us. And I think I sent you guys sort of the cost analysis on that. Plus, the warranty on the vehicle, which covers the engine and the drivetrain, is for 5 years. So we would still have a year's worth of warranty if we were to decide to buy this at the end of the lease. Plus, it's $100,000 to purchase the vehicle at the end of the lease, and so that's a smaller number too, a little bit more manageable. And I've also looked at some options to where we could basically set some money aside for the next 4 years and maybe already have that $100,000 should we choose to do that. One other thing that's required, and we had to get attorneys to look at this because I didn't understand what it meant. But we have to basically, and that's what this resolution does, is we have to basically say that we are not gonna issue more than 10 million in general obligation debt in the year in which the lease is executed, which is 2023. There's no way we're gonna do that. In fact, we don't anticipate issuing any new debt. It does not affect future debt or anything like that, but it is a IRS requirement for this types of things, and according to the tax attorney who weighed in on this thing, it allows the lender, who basically underwrites the lease, to get some tax breaks there, and as a result of that, they pass that on to us and allows us to get a lower interest rate for this thing. So that's part of what this resolution is as well. So and by the way, even though it says that the lease is $4,300 a month, we only have to pay it once a year at the end of the year in arrears. If we execute this lease right away, and they place the order, they do not anticipate actually getting a truck before the second quarter of calendar year 2024. So the earliest would be like April. Which means that in FY24, we wouldn't pay a penny for this thing. We wouldn't actually, even though we budgeted for it, we wouldn't have to make any payments until the next fiscal year.
I'm sorry. I guess this has all the lists and stuff and all that we need. We spec that out, right? That's good.
But it's gonna take that long to get it.
If you're lucky when you get that same.
Oh, come on, be optimistic.
You first told me 1 year.
Oh my goodness.
Ingram's local too, aren't they?
Yeah. Pelham from McCain Parkway.
Yeah.
I assume if after the 4 years that we decided not to buy the truck, we just
Get back.
figure another option down the road, or
Yep.
turn the truck in and get another.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a new lease, obviously, or we would buy another new truck or whatever, you know. So, but we could just basically give them the truck back.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've ever leased a car before, but typically car dealers will nitpick the heck out of those, and they're going to say, well, we're going to take this off and that off and all that kind of stuff. If you've turned in a car on a lease, I said, now guys, this is a garbage truck. You're not going to nitpick this thing. And so I made him send me a list of their specifications on what what they're going to look for when
Yeah,
they
it's a
turn
little
the truck
different
in.
than a regular car.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be scratches on it.
Is there a mileage limit on a garbage truck like there is a rented car?
I didn't see anything in the agreement about a mileage limit, no. That's a good question.
We might take that out these days.
In fact, you might be able to get some stuff out of the back of it. So, any serious questions or comments?
No, I do think that it's a good move because one we get a new truck, and it's sort of manageable in terms of then it could work out to where interest rates go down in 4 years, where we can keep this truck and actually lease another one and have a better sense of be cheaper to have two trucks. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good move.
So, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, there is a maintenance agreement included.
I saw that.
Now, the maintenance agreement, because you have a warranty on the engine and drivetrain, is basically for the exterior of the vehicle, including some of the working components where they'll come out every 90 days and inspect it, and there is some recurring maintenance that they do on lifts and stuff. I don't remember exactly what all it was. but-
And I guess the insurance works the same versus lease versus buy for the city, so it's covered. So okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'll introduce Resolution 092307. It's authorizing the mayor to sign a lease agreement with Ingram Equipment Company for the lease of a garbage truck.
Second.
And if you'll call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell.
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
King. Yes. Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes, and so the resolution was passed unanimously. Okay, contract for jail services. We talked about this, made some last minute changes to our 24 budget because we were able to find out during the discussions with folks that the daily rate for housing prisoners at Shelby County Jail was going to increase. And, I think it's pretty close to double. I'm trying to remember what the older rate was.
30,
Yeah, so it's not,
33 and some change.
not quite double. So maybe it's about a 30% increase or so. But nevertheless, it has gone up, and I've discussed this with it's not like we have much of a choice.
Right.
I mean, we can build a jail, or we can pay $49,
Yep.
$50 a day.
That's right.
And I also had a conversation with the county manager and city attorneys about the contract. So, any questions or discussion about this?
No, is that just for the, basically a cost of living type of deal? Is it for meals and utility costs and current
It's
environment?
everything.
Yeah.
Do we still have one cell downstairs that y'all hold people in, or is
Yes,
it
ma'am,
used
we
it all?
have,
Okay.
I say, but
Yeah,
we'll
I
keep
just didn't know
somebody
if we
in the
still
file,
had.
wait on the bond out, but we don't house people. Yeah, it's a long list.
I was just curious if y'all still use that or not.
Still in that business, ain't we?
Otis comes by every night and locks himself in.
Same way.
Yeah, he comes across the street, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I introduce resolution 092308. It's authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Shelby County for jail services.
I'll second.
If you call roll, please.
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell.
Yes.
Weston.
Yes.
Yes, Phillips.
Yeah.
Yes. I was sitting here thinking, how many people who might watch this, probably nobody who watches this, but anyway, even those who Otis.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh,
Otis.
Got him over his own feet.
So we talked about, there were some technical surprises on the Public Works building, and basically it had to do with some corrosion in the structure. And so we had to replace a few structural components and repair a few structural components. And that basically increased this price from $90,000 to $105,000. So the purpose of this is to approve the change order.
I've introduced enough, so I'm gonna let somebody else do it. We've signed enough contracts on my end.
Accepting a change of order for Public Works Building Phase 1, because I want
Second.
this finished.
I'll second.
Okay, and if you call a roll on that one too, please.
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell.
Yes.
Weston.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Phillips. Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
Is Wayne Davis doing electrical work and all that stuff too? No? Okay. Has that been settled? Who's doing it though?
Yeah, we got electrician's name on our permit and stuff.
Okay. Good.
I can't remember what his name is.
Okay.
Is this the last one? I
That's
think
the
it
last
is.
one.
Wow.
Okay.
A lot of contracts.
We received a bid for an F-150. Whose truck is this gonna be?
It's for
Dale's.
Dale.
Okay. From Buster Miles Ford, $46,000. You know, that's a really good price for a
It is.
4x4 Super Crew. Can you bid one for me?
I've got a 16-year-old I need one too, so.
Well, and the problem was the state bid list is taking so long that it's taken, Dale's had this truck ordered for over a year, and they're saying it's taken a year to 18 months to get a vehicle.
God.
So I did the bid, and I said, give me the options if you've got a 22, a 23, or 24. I think this is actually a 22. At this price, it's good. We award the bid, and all of this took possibly a month, maybe 6 weeks, versus waiting 18 months to get a vehicle.
Where's Buster Miles Ford?
But they are going to deliver it. That price includes delivery.
Wow.
Yes.
Short orders may get worse.
Well, I think Shelby County started bidding out their stuff too, because the state bid list is like overwhelmed with.
Well, that, and you got a lot of these car lots, you get that state bid stuff in, and they selling them to individuals because they get more out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
I'll entertain.
I was waiting
You're
for
in.
discussion.
I'm making a motion for resolution 09-2310, award of bid for F-150 4x4 Super Crew truck.
Second.
And if you call a roll again, please.
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry.
I assume it's white?
I think it's gray.
Oh, man, how'd we do that?
Wow.
Every
Noticed
other
that
vehicle
one.
was
Different
white.
color?
What about
Noticed that
Allie's
one.
vehicle?
Well, we're working on that, so,
Who?
Allie's, they gotta have one.
We
um,
found a
It's-
1972 Pinto.
I think we're gonna bid something for her too, because it's gonna be quicker than, there's some things on the
Did they-
state bid list already, but
I noticed it parked up there yesterday. Is it running at all now?
One of the guys is gonna.
It's gonna be one of
push it over here.
It's gonna be a one-way trip over behind City Hall. Push it over here.
And it will be on an agenda soon to, dispose and send to auction.
Yeah. But we do need to move forward and see if we
Cause
can't
it's
find
been a
another.
while since.
Because you were
Yeah.
using that for Meals on Wheels, correct? And now people are using their private vehicles for that.
Oh, I thought
No,
that.
they're using the Expedition. and
Oh, are they?
actually my car.
So does that one have to be an SUV van type of deal, or can it
That would
be?
be nice,
Hmm.
yes, just to haul all of this stuff.
Have somewhere to put
We
our
have a
wheels.
trolley that's not being used or something, don't we?
That would not be cost effective.
It would be.
If we could get it running.
Yeah, right.
We do.
You're really joking.
Okay, is there any other discussion, city business? We just had the discussion about the vehicle for the senior center. Is there any others? Okay, if not, I'll move on. Mayor's report. I wasn't at the last council meeting, so before that, I was at the Shelby County Mayors Association. The meeting was held in Harpersville. Basically, 58 Inc. was there giving a presentation about some of the things that they're doing as far as economic development for Shelby County. Plus, they've got quite a bit of new folks on the 58 Inc. staff, so several of them were there. We got a chance to. Amy made a good presentation, and then we got a chance to meet some of the new folks. Every municipality at that time was finalizing their budgets, and we all had lots of discussion about budgets. And the other thing is sanitation, and you're going to see, I think there's in my discussions with Chad, the landfill, the cost of disposing of our garbage in the landfill has gone up about 42%. Now, I'm not trying to defend them, but they have not increased their rates in quite a few years. Plus, more stringent environmental regulations and whatnot. But the interesting thing, going back to the sanitation discussion up here, several of the municipalities contract their garbage services. And in Chelsea, their monthly garbage fee went from $35 a quarter to $35 per month. And a lot of that has to do with increasing costs in addition to the landfill costs that are being incurred by the contractors. I think we're going to end up having to have a serious discussion about our own sanitation rates. Alabaster charges the same monthly rate that we do for garbage pickup, and they are planning on increasing theirs as well. But there's a lot of other issues that we need to talk about. I think some people are taking advantage of, the one garbage can, and if you have some extra stuff, we'll pick it up. I mean, I've seen pictures where there's one city can and then 5 additional cans at the same location. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with that. Of course, you guys adopted the budget. I had a meeting in the office, a good discussion with Chad Scroggins, kind of talked about things that's going on in the county. He's going to be my guest in the October Mayor's Monthly video and talk about how the city and the county work together and some of the things going on. So we talked about the jail services contract. We talked about the landfill stuff that we just talked about. And the interesting thing is they're getting ready. They have released the recreation grant application, so we can we should probably apply for that as quickly as possible.
Sure.
Yeah, and the deadline is October the 31st. We got to talking about pickleball. You and I've had a discussion about that. And based on what he's seeing around the county, he seems to think pickleball might be a good investment.
Well,
That's
it's
up to us.
well to that point. I mean, and I don't want to steal your report, but pickleball is the thing now. I mean,
Yeah.
they're putting pickleball courts down at Shelby Elementary School from a grant they're getting, and yeah, we need to get in that. We need to get in that game. I mean, there's literally people lining up to play these games.
Yeah,
I mean,
Baptist Church put them in their
Yep.
gymnasium. So, yeah.
Yep.
And pickleball tournaments are huge.
Yes.
So anyway, that's just, we kind of kicked it around. We talked about different things. But from his perspective, based upon demand, that would be your biggest bang from the buck. But we can do what we want, obviously. So I say September 11th, 15th, had these discussions with orchestra partners. It actually started in August when they sent me a copy of their memorandum of understanding. Those of you recall, they have this MOU that talks about formulation of their seed fund and development of city properties and whatnot. And there was some things in there that I was concerned about, probably didn't understand. Got the city attorney to take a look at it. We had a conversation. They've sent me a new MOU. But the important thing is they want to give their final vision plan presentation as soon as possible. We had talked about doing this to a broader audience, bringing in the business community and city leaders and other folks to get their buy-in to this plan. But I suggested that before they do that, they give that presentation to the city council first and let us, question them and about it and whatnot. We can talk a little bit more about the MOU for the seed fund and the development, et cetera. And we can do that virtually. In fact, they're suggesting if you guys want to do that, and looking at one day next week, possibly doing that. So I'll send out some dates, and we can come in and all be in the same room and hook up with them virtually, or we can do it individually. Anyway, Alan talked about the Public Works project. I'm excited about that. We're actually, within a couple of weeks, they'll start putting that siding on there, and that roof hopefully be done, and it'll actually look like a new facility out there. We had a virtual meeting today with the RERC folks because they want to come to the National Main Street Convention, which is going to be held in Birmingham in May, I believe. And they wanted to make a presentation, and they asked us if we wanted to participate in that. And I said, well, yeah, we do, but, several months ago, when we learned about the Main Street Convention, they said they wanted to plan tours, and we wanted to be on the tour, and suggested that they tour Columbiana, Calera, Montevallo, which were the three communities involved in the RERC project. So I didn't want RERC, to be honest with you, stealing all of our thunder, so I just wanted to make sure that we were working that together. So Allie was on that call today along with Ashley Franco, and I think hopefully get some good visibility for the city, not only at the national level, but get a lot of people on that tour. Jeff already mentioned the community luncheon for the annual safety awards. We have a table for 6 people. I encourage everybody to sign up to go to that. It's at the Pelham Civic Center on the 27th. Lunch is usually around 11:30, but sometimes it's at 11. I'll double check. And then, of course, I think Allie, I'm still in her thunder. She's going to talk about Discover Shelby Fest here in a few minutes. Any questions about anything on there? Okay. Alrighty, announcements.
All right, so Saturday, September 30th is Discover Shelby Fest.
the wine festival, that will be held in Old Mill Square Park and on South Main Street. So, all the vineyards will be set up on the Broadway, there'll be music on Main, like an acoustic stage on Main Street, and then the main stage in Old Mill Square Park.
What time?
So from 11 until 7 p.m. The headliner is a Jimmy Buffett tribute
Yes,
band,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
they'll start at 5. So,
It's sad, but it's kind of good timing
Oh,
It
in
is.
a certain way.
it is really sad, but it is good time.
At
I
5.
hate to say that, but. So that's gonna be a really great day. I'm excited about that. It should bring lots and lots of people, to Columbiana, so.
So I don't know, working with the county on this, as far as marketing and promotion, are they advertising?
They are, so
Do you have the
they're
Jimmy
running
Buffett?
some ads on 3340, some commercials, and also, on some radio stations. So, and I think they're gonna be on 3340 in the mornings a couple more times. They've already done one, so.
Hopefully they'll
so that'll be
leverage
great.
this Jimmy Buffett, it might
Yeah.
help get,
Will it be at Old Mill Square?
Yes,
That way?
they'll be on the main stage. So that's gonna be a great day. And then, Friday, October 20th is homecoming for Shelby County High School. The parade will start at 1:45, and then they'll do, homecoming stuff at 6:30 before the game that night.
Are they doing the dancer again?
They are,
Yeah.
and then afterward, they'll have the dance at the Grand Hall. And then Saturday, the 28th, is Main Street Columbiana's Witches Ride.
What time is that?
That's gonna start at 9,
Okay.
and that's always really fun. This year, they're starting on the Broadway and not in, the overflow parking lot, so that will be a little bit different. But yeah. And then the 31st is Monsters on Main. And
so it's actually gonna be on Halloween.
What time is that?
and it's actually on Halloween, on a Tuesday.
Is that 4 to 5:30? Is that what time it
I
is?
believe it's 4:30,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's 4:30 though.
yes,
To 6?
to 5:30.
Oh.
I mean, we always know that it's gonna go to
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Or 7.
But at some
Or
point.
Yeah, 7 or
And the
8.
city theme is,
And so all the city employees and you guys, we encourage you to dress up and come and hand out candy. And we will be dressed up like the 50s, so fiddle skirts, or if you wanna go, leather and all that stuff, go for it. So, that'll be fun.
How do people get to have a booth there? Do they just show
You
up?
can register on the website,
Okay.
yes. Please don't just show up.
I'll work. Whichever.
Will there be music there?
There will be probably music. Will there be music?
Will there be music there, Ricky?
On the Tuesday.
I have to check my calendar on that.
Jerry,
It's cool, it was
It is
cool
so
though
much
when you
better.
had that. I mean, it really is. It adds something.
Have you seen Fred Claus?
You opened it up.
DJ Donnie just played the same song. Okay, any questions for Ally? All right. Comments? Okay. I was hoping I could skip by that.
He was trying to be quick.
It's probably for the sanitation department. I have noticed there are a couple of homes here in town where people have built permanent racks in the front of their property, putting their garbage cans there, and they're leaving them there. So I was wondering if you could adopt an ordinance or how everyone else feels about it, or if it's something that could be discussed to let people know, take your garbage can back to your house, or put it behind your house, but don't leave it out on the street. And these that I've seen, they've built this little rack up under a tree where it's kind of hid for the summer, but come winter, when all the leaves are gone, this garbage can is gonna be right there on public front Main Street. And I just think it looks bad. And if it were an issue that they could not physically carry the garbage, there's already ways that they can get the garbage picked up. So I don't think that's it. I think it's just a matter of they don't wanna take the can back.
I've seen people build those little square structures too, out of like 2x4s and all that. Yeah.
So I just don't think it's a good look for our city, because if one person continues to do it, then another and another, some point, when do we say enough is
That's right.
enough?
That's a good point.
Maybe we could give warnings in the bills that go out, you know, one, say after 1 or 2 warnings, there's a $5 fee or something, but we
I
gotta
thought
do
it was
something.
in the original letter that y'all sent us that you would have to take them back.
It may be, I don't
I
know.
thought it was.
It didn't require you to do it. There was a thing in there that said, you know,
You have to bring
if
it to
you
the
ask for
road
it,
and then take
we'll
it back.
pick it up for it, and we'll take it back for you. But we didn't tell people they had to take it back. And so I think kind of what I was alluding to, you know, we've got a thing in there, if you need an extra can, extra $10 a month, you can get an extra can. But we've been real lenient and say, well, you know, if you got a little bit more garbage, you can put a bag out there or another can, we'll pick it up. And so now there are always those people who will take advantage, and they've got the city can and 5 of their own cans. And because we are limited staffed, we're using the lift on the garbage truck to help us lift those 95-gallon cans. But the ones that they put out there, you know, the guy can't lift them. So, and that becomes a problem. So I think something that we need to discuss is to maybe some policies that we can publish, and or whether or not we need an ordinance for something like that. So we can kind of address all those things.
Because if they build a stationary structure closer to the road, then obviously that becomes more of a hazard than anything.
Depends upon how close it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.